Got a spot here. Okay.
Nope. Tell me your name.
My name is James Vineyard.
You a farmer?
I was a farmer. I was a cowboy. And I was a antique dealer. And I was a government meat inspector.
Yeah.
At different times. And but this little old combine here and this little tractor, this is a Model A John Deere, and that's me sitting right there. And that's a 12A combine. It's a 6-foot cut, and it's got a 6-foot cylinder in here that threshes the grain. In other words, it's 6 foot all the way through. And the grain comes in here in this little old bin. And when you get a load, well, you put this over here and under a trailer and unload it. And then you go again. You don't get much done in a day, but you get it done. This whenever we started farming, really my dad had one like this. This is 1941, and I run it when I was about 15 years old. I run this thing and thrashed our crops. But later on then, after we got married, well, I got me one, see, and it rolled along, this little reel pulls the grain in there. See? It's pretty good invention back in 1941, but it was nothing now compared, you know, to what machines they have.
How old are you now?
How old am I now? I'm 86 years old. And I guess that's about the story that I collected John Deere tractors. Of course, they made other kinds, but I didn't really collect any kind, but I never did run any kind farming but John Deere.
Now, why is that?
Huh?
Why did you only use John Deere?
Well, because I thought they were better.
Now, my grandmother and you were siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Molly Pauline?
Yes.
But you didn't call her that. What'd you call her?
I called her Sis.
Why'd you call her Sis?
I don't know. Just got started calling her Sis. She called me son. Oh, most time, every once in a while, she'd call me something else.
So, now, where were you guys born?
Where? In Hermley, Texas.
And we're in Crest now.
Well, Sis was born in Canyon. Sis was born in Canyon, Texas in 1921. She's a whole lot older than I was. And I was born in Hermley, out on the farm in a little 4-room house. It wasn't a shack, it was a house. It was a pretty good house. But then they just gave birth out in the farm homes. The doctor would come out there and deliver if he got there in time.
Tell us the story about you and Aunt Sis and you shooting her in the hand.
Huh?
Tell us the story about you and Aunt Sis and you shooting her in the hand.
Oh. Back there about, I don't know, 46 or 7 or along in there. I had got me a new BB gun for Christmas. And just before then, the WPA was building toilets, outhouses for people that didn't have a bathroom, and then didn't nobody have a bathroom except people in town. But anyway, she went out there and used the bathroom, and I was just outside there, had my little old gun, and she stuck her hand out the door and said, "Bet you can't hit my hand." And I just cut down on it and just buried one up right in the palm of her hand. So we dug it out. Went on other things.
Now, can you tell me about your parents?
Well, my parents was two of the best people in the world.
It runs in the family.
Huh?
It runs in the family.
Yeah. My mother had cancer, and she died when she was 41 years old. Had cancer right here on her neck. They didn't know what it was, so they operated on it. And they was trying to do what they should, but they shouldn't have done it. I think that's just like, you know what a red ant bed is?
Yes, sir.
Just like stirring up a bed of red ants. When you cut in there, you just stir up them germs and they just go wild. And she was 45 years old. And then my dad died when he was 52 years old with a heart attack. But he worked too hard. He worked.
What did he do?
He farmed.
Yeah.
We had a farm out west of Chris.
What was he farming mostly?
Huh?
What was he farming?
Well, a little cotton and a little wheat, a little milo, maybe a few soybeans.
Now, what is Milo?
Milo is maize, grain, little grain.
Right.
Call it maize. Of course, in Mexico they call corn maize. But this is little head. We raised a lot of that. Raised a few cows and a few sheep. Done anything to make $1, Daddy did. Then we raised some turkeys.
Now, how old were you when you met your wife?
How old was I? Oh gosh, I don't know. Probably 12.
Yeah.
We was going to school up here at Crest High School. Of course, it was about grade school along in, but we met up here, but we didn't marry. We didn't marry till she was 17. I was 19.
Where did y'all get married?
Huh?
Where did you get married?
When?
Where?
In Amarillo at the parsonage in the Polk Street Methodist Church.
Do you remember that day? Can you tell me about that day that y'all got married?
Oh, it's just another common day. We got ready, and after I got ready, and I went over to her folks and picked her up, and we went to Amarillo.
Was she wearing a pretty dress?
You bet.
Yeah. What'd she look like?
What did she look like?
Yeah. Tell me.
An angel.
An angel?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many years ago was that when you got married?
67.
67 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you remember how Pauline met E.O.?
Well, they was going to school up here together. Really, how, I don't know. I don't know whether they're in the same grade or not, but they was going to school together. And her and E.O. would come by and pick her up, and I don't know how come, but they'd let me go to town with them.
Yeah. What kind of car was he driving?
What kind of car was he driving? Oh, it's an old Chevy pickup.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
Do you remember when they got married?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Do you remember that day? Can you tell me about what that day was like?
Well, no, not really. It's just another day. Like our then, every day was a work day. You worked till you had to do something, and then you did it, you know.
Now I call Sis Granny, because I call Sis Granny since she's my grandmother.
Yeah.
I think her birthday was actually on the 11th, but yet y'all didn't celebrate until later because of crops. Is that right? Is there a story there?
I don't know. Her birthday is September the 12th.
It's the 12th? Okay. Now, my dad is Jerry. I remember that he was born, wasn't it exactly 9 months after they got married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that day.
You do?
Yes, sir.
What happened that day?
Well, I was at school, and I come home, and I was driving a Model A car so I could carry Sis and some of the other kids to school. And I got home about whatever, 4:30 or whatever. Mother said, you better go find your daddy. Said, Sis is fixing to have a baby. So here I went. And I found him pretty quick. You got him over, and that's what she had.
Was my daddy.
Yeah.
They're on the West Place?
Yeah. Well, no, they went to town.
Oh,
They took her to town.
Plainview? Or
Two of you.
Two of you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember that very well.
Yeah.
Funny.
Now, is Roxy, was she your first child?
No, Ronnie was.
Ronnie
the first
was?
child.
So remember the day he was born?
Yeah.
How was that day?
Well, it's pretty good. I had me a boy, you know.
That way you could have some help on the farm?
Huh?
That way you could have some help on the farm?
Well, that ain't the reason we had him, but we used what we could get, you know.
And then, how many years later did you have Roxy?
Oh, I don't know, 6, 7.
Yeah. You remember that day?
Sure do.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, we went to the hospital. We was more modernized then, you know. We got to the hospital before she had her. And waited. The doctor come out and said, you got your little daughter. But the funny thing about it, 2 of her best friends that still live here they had their birthdays all right in there the same day.
How about that? So what'd you think when you held your daughter for the first time?
No, I don't know.
That was another angel that came to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Well, thank you for talking with me.
yeah, you're welcome.